Po sa inyo lahat and welcome again to our program every Friday 10 a.m. The Agenda at Club Filipino. This program is brought to you by EFG Consulting in cooperation with Impact Publishing, and I am your host, Fred Bison. For today, we have a very unique and interesting topic. Maybe in our airwaves, we are hearing about national security, West Philippine Sea, but sometimes we forget that we also have some issues that I myself was not aware until recently. Yung issue ng ating pangkarapatan at pantao at government action in response to certain issues regarding environment and social justice. So without further ado, allow me to introduce our resource persons for today. To my farthest right, in Ilocano, Jay Banger ba? Jay Banger? Owen Ngarodin. Efren Estoque, President of our Ilocano Small Farmers Cooperative based in Lanao del Sur. And to my immediate right, si Sir Orly Ravanera, Chairperson of our Makakalikasan Party. And he used to be the CDA chairperson. To my immediate left, the chairperson of the Federation of Free Farmers, si Sir Yoni Montemayor, who is also our former Department of Agriculture Secretary. And finally, to my farthest left, isang magiting na abogado, Congressman Argel Kabatbat of the Magsasaka Party Lists. Welcome to our show, gentlemen. And ang hindi alam ng karamihan, just like I said in my introduction, is what's really happening down south. What I know, based on what I have read, meron yatang konting pag-aabuso na ginagawa ng ating pamahalaan na hindi masyadong nalalaman ng ating mga kababayan. And this is happening right now, right under our very noses, na dapat yata kailangan ipaalam, hindi lang sa publiko, but doon sa concerned government authorities. So perhaps I'd like to invite any of our resource persons to give us some context. Ano ba talaga ang naging issue rito? Dahil ang lumalabas, meron yatang forcible eviction na walang court order na parang hindi nirirespeto ang karapatang pantao. Ako po ay bilang kasama ng Armed Forces nung araw, kung pati yung pangalan ng AFP napapasama, parang ako yung napapasama at ang tingin ko sa sarili kong organization. So perhaps anyone can give us a brief background of what really is the issue? Sino ba, sir? Anyone?
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. So, i-grab po namin ito ng opportunity para maparating sa mga kinaukulan ng aming mga hinaing. So, ganito po kasi nangyari doon sa amin, sir. By the year 2023, dumating ang SPDE doon sa amin kasama ang mga investors ng Asia Pacific Precision Agricultural Group, then ang Kinmer Food International.
Pero bago yan, Sir Efren, ano ba talagang dahilan bakit kayo nandoon sa lugar na yon? Sandali, Ilocano kayo, tapos nandoon kayo sa Mindanao. Ano ba nangyari doon?
Ang kwento po ng aking mga magulang sa akin, galing po sila sa, kasi ang mga magulang po namin is galing ng pangalanan na Lapantar, La Union, Pangasinan, din Tarlac, kasi mga Ilocano settlers kami doon. Then yung mga magulang namin doon sila napadpad. So kami po, ako sa akong sarili is third generation na po ako doon.
Yung nangyari po yung Lapantar na to sa, sabi niyo, La Union, Pangasinan, tsaka Tarlac, ilan po yung unang batch na nagpunta doon sa lugar na iyon?
Yan po ang parang hindi na namin nalaman, sir, kasi hindi naman namin alam na kailangan pala ngayon yung mga bilang na yun na kailangang tandaan kasi sa una wala namang po kaming problema doon.
Oh, ngayon po, ilan na po kayo ngayon doon? Ito yung mga, kumbaga, descendants ng mga Lapantar.
Ang mga descendants po or kasi nakapag-asawa na po ang mga iba, more or less 3,000 individuals po ang apektado doon sa amin.
Ito pong sinasabi niyong 3,000 na ito, nasa isang barangay lang po ba ito? Dalawa, tatlo?
Sa isang barangay lang po, sa aming barangay lang po yan.
Kaya Sir Orly, meron po kayong idagdag?
Marami po talaga. No? Actually, I prepared a presentation because pasalamat ako kay Miss Rocky for the privilege of being invited to give as a resource person of the reactor, as a reactor resource person on the agenda. But prior to that, Attorney Sigfred Misono, I'd like to give my high respect to you as tenure professor and as former chief of the immigration, and of course to former Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary Leonie Montemayor, who is now the president of the Federation of Free Farmers, and of course to Attorney Argel Kabatbat, sir, thank you so much, and to all of you. If I may, no, I just would like to say na we are so happy na we are given the chance to somehow give you this information, believing in the statement, Veritas Liberabit Vos. And I salute all of you, no, for coming here and for amazingly including in your parameter of coverage today an issue which at the outset may seem trivial, as it is happening in a far-flung area in an unknown municipality in Lanao del Sur. Pero pag lumantad po ang katotohanan, hindi pala maliit ang isyu. Ang dinadanas ng libu-libong Ilocanong magsasaka simula pa noong nakaraang taon. Pag ito po ay nagpatuloy, it will define and exemplify who truly we are as a people and as a nation. Yes, mga kaibigan, the problem of the Ilocano farmers is happening in an unknown municipality in Lanao del Sur, named Amay Manabilang. When you say Amay, it's Ama ng Manabilang. And ito po ay named after the incumbent mayor then in the 90s, named Sultan Mastora Manabilang. He was the incumbent mayor then. Pero after his finishing his three-term period, he was replaced by the wife, and then after the wife, then the children respectively. Yang tinatawag pa ang political dynasty continue until now. The Ilocano settlers here, headed by, actually when they came, Attorney Sigfred, they came about in the 50s during the time of Ramon Magsaysay. Mga 1,000,000 yung sasabi ni Efren kanina. They came from Lapantar. It stands for La Union, Pangasinan, and Tarlac.
Pero masingit ko lang, sir.
Opo, oh.
Paano man napunta yung mga taga-Lapantar in this small, obscure barangay in Lanao del Sur in the 1950s?
Yes, actually po, yan ay noon ay parte ng WAO. Yan po ay tinatawag na Bumbaran, Upper Port Frankfurt, WAO. Alam po ninyo sila yung mga settlers. Alam ko po ito dahil doon ako lumaki sa WAO at ang mga taga National Agricultural Resettlement Authority, doon po sila nakatira sa bahay. Kaya alam ko po na meron silang prior right in the 50s pa na dumating na. Kaya dineclare po ng SPDA ang lugar 26,000 hectares. Isa WAO yan. Pero in the 90s, medyo na-divide ang 10,000 yon ay sa Amay Manabilang, na pangalan na Amay Manabilang na sa WAO, na separate na, at yung 16,000 sa WAO. Pero Attorney Sigfred, ito po ang malaking katanungan. The mayor of WAO did not allow them to enter. Ang sabi nila, ang mga settlers dyan ay meron ng prior rights. I have already issued what you call individual property rights to them. Just like po, yung mga Ilocano farmers, ngayon, about 3,000 na, nandun sila na-change na sa Amay Manabilang. Pero WAO yan noon. Ngayon, ang nangyayari po ngayon, pinapaalis sila. Anong pinapaalis? Hindi pala basta pinapaalis. Ang kanilang farm And last year pa simula, mga 400 hectares na, everyday tinatraktor. Tapos po ngayon, hindi lang tanim ang tinatraktor, pati na ang bahay, ang kay Efren na bahay, tinransfer na sa malapit sa SPDA at pinatira na ng mga kapgo. Recently po, ano pa nangyari? Pati ang kanilang water supply, pinutol na. Ang kanilang daan papunta ron, sinira na.
Matanong ko lang, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pag sinabing sila, nila, sino po ba yung nagsisira?
Ito, magandang katanungan, attorney. Ang nasisira, una SPDA, tinatraktor, in connivance with two corporations, namely Kinimer Food International, and the other one is Asia Pacific Precision Agricultural Group. Ito sila. Pero ang masakit nito, attorney, is this. Tama yung sabi ninyo. Every time they would now damage the crops, sinatraktor, nandun ang presence ng armed men from the PNP and from the AFP. Yan po ngayon. Kaya nagtatanong po sila, ano na ba ngayon pala ang tungkulin ng mga military? Yun ba ay suportahan ang mga foreign corporations?
Masingit ko lang uli, sir.
Sige po, sige
Kung
po.
nandoon po yung AFP at PNP and apparently, sinabi niyo rin po, nandoon din suporta ng SPDA, kayo po ba ay dumulong na doon sa mga kanilang mga hepe, doon sa provincial commander, doon sa police director?
Ito po ang magandang katanungan. In a video conference in Cagayan de Oro, meron lang pong parang open forum na sasabihin, ang Kinimer, ang ASPAC, dito na, plantation na inyong lugar, babayaran kayo ng 16,000. Tapos, gagawin na kayo ng mga trabahante. Meron pong isang tao, ang pangalan niya si Noel Sobido. Yung tatay niya noon, kasi sasabihin ko mamaya about the massacre. Isa sa na-massacre, yung 21 mostly Ilocanos, pinapunta sa mosque, tinalian, pinatay lahat, pati a pregnant woman. O ngayon, nagtanong lang, bakit naman ganito po? We have prior rights. Nag-sign lang sa bodyguards. Sinipa, tinulak, binugbog. Ang tanong po, ganito po, attorney.
Sige,
May
sir.
nagtanong sa media, Sir, napablatter ba? Napablatter? Nandun ang chief PNP. Nandun ang head ng 55 ID. Ay ano ba yan? Ipablatter mo? Nandun? Walang ginawa po. Kaya ngayon nagtatanong kami kay Secretary Gibo Teodoro, Sir, ganito ba ngayon ang role ng military? Di ba nakalagay yan sa ating Batakang Balaod, sa ating saligang batas? That in a Republican Democratic State, sovereignty resides with the people and all governmental powers emanate from them, not from the corporations.
Sandali lang po, sir.
Sige, sir.
Siguro na po yung insights naman po ng ating former DA Secretary, yung chairperson ng Federation of Free Farmers. Kasi kung tutusin, while it seems like a local issue, medyo pumasok na rin po yung federation. Ano po ba yung basihan? Bakit talagang ngayon po yung FFF ay tumutulong na rin po dito sa issue na ito?
Maraming salamat, Attorney Mison. Si Orlan Rabanera kasi matagal na naming kakilala at nagpapatulong na siya sa other related issues. So nung pumutok itong problema sa Barangay Sumugot, Amay Manabilang in Lanao del Sur, lumapit po sa akin kasi nahirapan sila na makakuha ng remedyo sa problema. So
Mga anong taon yun, sir? When
only
FFF became involved?
Only this year,
Only this
Attorney, only this year. So, pinag-aralan po namin yung sitwasyon, pati mga documentation. And among the things that we discovered, Attorney, is that they were invited, or there was a program of President Ramon Magsaysay starting in the late 1950s. Nagre-resettle po ng mga I think originally may mga Ivatan, then there was a second wave, mga Ilocanos, and then Visayan. So they were in the second wave, and they were brought, I think, NARA, National, Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration, NARA. So they were brought to Lanao del Sur. I think the port there was in Banasila. There was a port there, doon muna kayo dinala. And then eventually napadpad po sila sa Wao, Lanao del Sur. So they've been there since I think around the early 60s na. At that time, palagay ko medyo kogunal pa yung malaking portion doon, maka-wooded portions pa doon. Nilinis po ng mga Ilocano masisibag kasi mga Ilocano settlers as well as the others. So they cleared it, and then they developed it, and then at present, large areas of doon, especially in Barangay Sumugot, siguro nakatanim po dyan sugar cane. They supply 2 sugar mills in Bukidnon. And then they plant high-value crops, vegetables. They supply the big cities around the area. So, that's the situation now. Now, nung bago lang po ito, probably during the COVID period, about 2020 or 2021, pumasok po yung Southern Philippines Development Authority, SPDA, which was created under a presidential decree during the time of Marcos
Yes, sir.
Sr. Yes.
Pero yung pagpasok po kasi ng SPDA, siyempre po, ako po dating gobyerno, kayo po ay dating gobyerno. Every time we do any government action, meron po tayong pinagbabasihan. Ang sinabing ata po sa SPDA, ito pong lupa na sinasakupan ng Barangay Sumugot, kasama po sa isang presidential proclamation na binigay po sa SPDA. Tama po ba yun, sir?
Tama po yun. Nagkaroon po ng Presidential Proclamation 2046, January 17, 1981. On the very same day that martial law was lifted. Because the martial law was lifted through a previous proclamation, the PP 2045, just before.
Okay.
And then pumasok po yung 2046. Nagtabi po yan ng a certain area in the town of Wao and Bumbaran at that time for the administration and management of the SPDA. I-develop po yung area na yon into a agro-industrial settlement area. Yun po.
Di kung tutusin po, sir, tama po yung SPDA na tulungan po itong mga dalawang korporasyon na ito dahil meron silang hinahawakan na proclamation. Tama po ba yun, sir?
First of all, meron po silang administration and control over the area. But that was way back in 81. Matagal pong natulog ang SPDA. In fact, during the time of President Arroyo, she issued an executive order deactivating SPDA kasi wala pong makikita pong output. But it was reactivated a couple of years later, still under GMA. And then, wala namang development nangyari po doon. Except nito pong mga 20 or 2021, under Administrator Jerry Salapudin, a former colleague of mine in the House, na apparently nagkaroon po ng joint venture agreement, SPDA, with 2 corporations. Ito po yung Kenemer Foods International Inc. Apparently, it's a Filipino company, but the other company is American. Yung Asia Pacific Precision Agriculture Group, ASPAC for short. Ano po yung laman po ng agreement na yon? Sa amin pong pagkaalam, magtatayo po ng plantations po, yung dalawa. In the case of Kenemer, cacao principally, I think secondary would be coffee, and then the ASPAC, mais at saka soybean. Yun po.
Pero ito pong joint venture agreement po ito, tinatamaan po lang yung Barangay Sumugot o yung
Ang pagkaintindi
pangkalhatang
namin,
area
the
po?
whole area po yung 16,000 hectares in Wao, and then 10,000 in Amay Manabilang. Ang kapagtataka dito, attorney, sa laki po ng area, in this case, in Amay Manabilang, 10,000 hectares, but yun po ang tinarget nila, yung mga areas already cleared and developed by the Ilocano settlers, which is about siguro roughly to at most 2,000 hectares. Bakit yun ang tinatarget? Develop na eh. Kung gusto po ng SPDA na i-develop yung area sang-ayon sa proclamation creating it, shouldn't it build on the achievements already of the Ilocano settlers? Tapos, from there, kasi develop na po magtulungan ang SPDA at mga tao how to improve the development further and maybe go into processing activities, etc. Hindi po yung, ang nangyari po, ang sabi po ng SPDA, uy, alis kayo dyan kasi papalitan namin kayong dalawang korporasyon, kaya tinatraktora po yung kanilang lugar, mga bahay po nililipat sa pilitan sa ibang lugar, tapos papalitan po ng kakao. At saka parang hindi yata tamang developmental approach yung ganon. Yun po yung isang basic question.
Yes, sir.
Is that the proper way for SPDA We are all for development. And they say it's for the, even under the proclamation, it's supposed to be for the benefit of the small farmers
Yes, yes.
and the local communities. Is this the way to do it? Uproot muna the communities, remove their plants, and then to give way to two corporations. So, parang division of development is somehow, well, to put it mildly, it's not the correct one. And then the second major issue, attorney, is role of the, in this case, the other government agencies, including the the Philippine Army, specifically the 55th Infantry Battalion, that is based in a barangay Kilikili, part of Amay Manabilang, and the Philippine National Police. I saw a part of a press con where the spokesman of the Philippine Army, si Colonel Timaala, opo, sinabi po niya doon na mukhang illegal, sabi niya, yung posisyon ng mga settlers doon, which we contest because they've been there in the area since more than 50 years ago. And then, makakabuti rin naman tong project daw na ito ng tour corporations kasi, yun nga, kikita sila, etc. But they're already there eh. So why remove them from the area? And then, ang masama pa, attorney, towards the end of his interview, sinabi ni Colonel Dimaala na mukhang merong kwan daw, pumapasok o impluensya daw ng CPP-NPA. Oh, parang hindi yata tama na the military is turning out, quote-unquote, instead of a protector of the settlers there, kumakampi pa dun sa nagtatanggal po sa kanilang pananim at saka ginigiba po yung mga bahay. So that's the second issue. What's the proper role of the military and the police in land conflicts like this one? Dapat po siguro nagkaroon ng konting due diligence muna bago kahit na lumapit pong SPDA sa Armed Forces at saka sa PNP, pag-aral muna kung totoo bang kwan. May legal rights yung mga tao doon, and is it proper for the Army and for the PNP to get involved in a way that is not good for the reputation of the Army and the PNP.
Basta yung sa amin, sir, again, being part of the AFP before, serving for 12 years, lahat naman po ng actions ng military, PNP, karamihan po yan talagang may pinanggagalingan. Merong tinatawag po tayong obey first before you complain. Or maybe obey before investigating. Mga ganong klase po bang, ganon po yung disiplina ng mga uniform personnel natin. But obviously, this is not an issue of economic development. Kasi the Ilocano farmers there, SPDA, and even these two corporations are all for developing that particular area. Ang nagiging issue po yata is legal, and that's why I'd like to get the legal position of the legal counsel, Kong Argel. Ano ba sa tingin mo? Sorry. Kasi there is that SPDA presidential proclamation. There is that tinatawag nga ni chairman na prior rights. Matagal na sila nandoon. Ano po ba talaga ang magandang legal analysis na kailangan ipaalam natin sa ating pamahalaan?
Okay. Gusto ko pong sabihin na base sa explanation ni Sir Leonie, SPDA has the legal right doon sa lupa. Okay. Iko-compare ko po yan doon sa ginawa sa mga Jews noong World War II sa Germany, sa Nazi Germany. Legal din po ang pagpapakulong at pagpatay sa lahat ng Hudyo doon. Legal din po ang pag-separate ng mga blacks sa Amerika noon. Sa halimbawa, pupunta sa CR, hindi pwedeng sumama ang black kasama ang white. Legal po. So, ibig sabihin, legal po yung ginawa ng SPDA. Ang tanong, is it moral? Tama ba na wasakin ang mga bahay at ang mga itinanim ng mga magsasaka dyan na ilang dekada na nandyan? Is it moral? Hindi na po natin tanongin yung legal eh. Is it moral na yung matagal nang nagtatanim dyan, wawasakin yung kanilang mga bahay kahit walang court order? At ang kasama nila sa likod nila ay yung mga Kenemer na mga foreigner na may interest sa lupa ng mga magsasaka natin, kasama pa ang PNP at AFP. So ang tanong po dito hindi na legal eh. Is it moral? At ang sagot po natin, hindi. Kasi may nabanggit po si Sir kanina, back in year 2000, meron po sa lugar na yan na mga magsasakang Ilocano ang pinapasok sa moske minasaker kasama ang isang buntis na babae at ang 3 bata. So ang tanong dyan, yung mga Ilocano na nagsesettle doon, parang nagiging biktima ng ganitong violence. Siguro gusto ko rin po ikwento yung aking personal na experience sa mga Muslim na nagsesettle sa Luzon. For example, sa amin po sa Gimba, Nueva Ecija, kung saan ako lumaki. Pagpasok po nung 90s, pagpasok po ng ilang mga Muslim doon sa barangay namin, ang kapitan po ng barangay ay yung tatay ko. During the first days, talagang away. Ako po ay nasa, I think, 11 years old. May nakasuntukan pa akong bata din na Muslim eh. Pero ang po sa amin, basketball lang, naging magkaibigan na kami, nagkaroon sila ng sariling mosque doon. Walang naging ganyang violence. Simpleng lang
Pero
po.
kung sa tingin
Yes,
mo,
okay.
bakit away kagad? May pumasok lang na ibang Pilipino, away kagad.
Oo nga po eh. Yun yung gusto kong i-share. Dahil pagka ho yung hindi magkakilala, ang una hindi nagdududahan sa isa't isa. Pero pagka nakita ninyo yung similarity ninyo na hindi naman pala natin dapat pagdudahan ng isa't isa. Pareho pala tayo mahilig sa basketball eh. So nagsimula ho kami doon maglaro hanggang sa naging magkaibigan na kami. At ngayon po, kahit tignan nyo po sa Quiapo, may mosque dyan, may simbahan, walang away. Nagkakaintindihan na po. Kaya ang sana po, ganito rin na mangyari dyan, wag ho sana magkaroon ng violence sa mga Ilocano na nagsettle dyan sa lugar ninyo sa Mindanao. Sana po magkaintindihan tayo na tayo po pala ay mga magkakapatid. Hindi ho tayo dapat umabot sa ganito.
Pero, Kong, since this will be a legal issue, sinabi nyo na nga, may karapatan ang SPDA dyan, kasama nung 2 korporasyon na may JV. Paano tayo makakakuha ng legal solution to a seemingly moral problem in that area?
Okay.
Tapos
Sige,
lang natin si
sabi-
Kong,
opo.
sir. And
Siguro
then
po,
after Kong. Sige.
yes, siguro po in the same way na nabago yung batas na nabanggit ko kanina sa kung paano pinapatay yung mga Hudyo sa Nazi Germany, kung paano natanggal yung paghiwalay ng mga black sa mga white, at yung pagbibigay ng karapatan sa mga kababaihan natin noon na bumoto din. So baguhin natin yung batas to make our laws morally right also.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Quickly, kasi may mga media questions pala. There is a provision in the proclamation giving that area to SPDA, which says, subject to private rights
Okay.
and forestry rules and regulations. So, we take the position that yung long-term occupancy po nila has already given them prior or vested rights. That should be respected. Opo, respected. So yun po, I believe that, and then there is a law attorney, originally kasi pagka 30 years continuous and actual possession of a piece of public land, it is tantamount already to a title. Kulang na lang documentation and the grant of the free patent. There is an amendment to that Public Land Act, I think about 2010, na the period was shortened to 20 years. Obviously, they've been there since the early 60s. So more than 20 years na. Kulang na lang siguro ng konting documentation. Tulungan yung mga tao, yung areas po nila na develop. Hindi naman yung buong 10,000 ito eh. At least in the case of the Ilocano. So there is a legal basis, I believe, to protecting their tenure.
Sige, sir.
Dalawang katanungan lang. Kung talagang legal ang ginagawa ng SPDA, ganito lang, it is under the office of the President. It can easily get a court order na to vacate. They did not do that. They use massive destruction of the farms that is against the law. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, and property without due process of law. Ang pangalawa, noong nag-attempt sila pumasok sa WAO, sabi ng mayor ng WAO, si Nono Balikaw, you cannot enter kasi may prior rights na sila. Hindi sila pumilit. Ang ginawa nila ngayon is to divide WAO sa Parliamentary Bill 271. Pag na-divide ang WAO, wala ng WAO. Doon na papasok ang corporation. So another strategy. Pero ito ngayon is very clear. Massive harassment, the destruction of violation of their human rights, attorney. So yun po yun.
Chairman, matanong ko lang kasi nabanggit nyo kanina na dumulong tayo kay Secretary Gibo. Meron po ba kayong feedback? Dahil, again, pag AFP kasama, medyo hindi maganda rin sa aking tenga pag mali ginagawa ng aking mga kabaro dati.
Wala po kasi ang problema ngayon, if you do it through yung hierarchy, I
Official
don't
channels.
think, it will not reach the secretary. Kaya nga po siguro, the only way is, yung sinasabi Veritas Libre Rapid Force, the media will bring it to a higher court, the court of the Filipino people, yung nga sasabi ni attorney kanina ng morality, para pangkonsensya.
Attorney, additional information. Last Thursday, June 13, I was able to talk personally to Secretary Estrella of Agrarian Reform and Secretary Kiko Laurel of Agriculture. So Secretary Estrella said he will have it examined from the legal aspect as soon as possible. So he assigned one of their lawyers, one of their undersecretaries to do it. In the case of Secretary Laurel, attorney, tinawagan niya si Secretary Leo Magno, who used to be the presidential advisor for Eastern Mindanao. He's now the head of the Mindanao Development Authority, MINDA, where in the board, where he sits as chairman, in the board, nandyan po si Chairman Salapudin, ang SPDA.
Yes.
Okay, we talked. Secretary Laurel talked to Leo Magno on the phone. Laurel passed the cell phone to me. I talked to Magno. Then after we had finished talking, nag-text back si Secretary Magno kay Kiko Laurel. Ang sabi ni Secretary Laurel sa akin, si Magno just texted me. Pinatigil na ang paninira mga pananim. Wow, kako. So, thank you. Maganda. Pero until now, sige pa po yung pagboboldo. So, I mean, what is the value of that assurance given by Secretary Magno? So, umabot na po sa pinakataas.
Yes, sir. Kung nasa pinakataas na, sinubukan niyo, sir, doon ba sa medyo baba? Were you able to talk to Administrator Salapudin of SPDA?
I understand he was invited to this forum but there was
Yes, sir.
no answer.
Yes.
We have also talked, kami ni Congressman Kabatbat and Roy Cabonegro here, to the Director of the Commission on Human Rights. Is that Ronnie? Ronnie Lucero is the head of the Investigation Division of the CHR
Yeah.
National. They already sent recently a team. I think they arrived past Wednesday. So nandun mismo sa lugar yung team po ng CHR from the regional office in Cagayan de Oro City. So ina-investigate na rin po ng CHR. I think nandito rin po yung kinatawan ni Senator Risa Hontiveros, Jude Isguera. I think Jude, that's you at the back. So he's here to listen and find out how the senator, perhaps by filing a resolution to investigate, can help. Jude Isguera, by the way, siya po ang dating Deputy Commissioner, I understand, of the National Anti-Poverty Commission.
Yes,
NAPSI. So, gobyerno din po siya dati. Marami na po tayong lapitan.
So I think you have managed, due to your siguro participation, sir, na talagang you have been pinpointing and asking for government intervention dito.
Yes. And in fact, sila Roy Cabonegro, they've asked for appointments with Kenemer and ASPAC, so we can listen to their side, and hopefully we can arrange also a meeting with the EU Commission, the EU ambassadors of the Philippines, because Kenemer, I found out, they're the biggest supplier of Philippine cacao and cacao-based products to Europe. And if the Europeans find out the human rights and other rights of the farmers are not being observed, baka po maalanganin po yung exports ng Kenemer po sa Europe. So this is another area where I believe Kenemer and ASPAC should exercise due diligence. Are they aware, especially top management, na itong ginagawa po ng kanilang mga kasamahan po sa lugar, yan po ilabag mismo sa corporate social objectives po ng dalawang kumpanya na yan. Yun po.
So aside from those approaches, sir, pagdating naman sa legal, meron po ba tayong hinahain sa korte to somehow, kasi maganda nga yung ating balance of power, checks and balances. We need that court intervention kasi kung hindi magkaka-agree ang mga tao sa ating pamahalaan in terms of enforcing whatever rights na sinasabi nyo nga kung Argel na legal, meron po ba tayong hinahain sa korte para at least matapos muna itong ganitong issue, magkaroon ng pause?
Siguro gusto ko pong sabihin din na yung kanilang issue ay hindi nag-iisa, kundi napakarami hong issues na ganyan. At dati po, kung titignan yung history ng PAO, Public Attorney's Office, ito po ay nagsimula as public defender ng mga magsasaka. Pero just recently, hindi na po sila kumukuha ng mga kliyente na magsasaka kasi pagka ho may lupa, parang hindi na siya considered indigent. So nagkaroon ho kami ng Memorandum of Agreement between Public Attorney's Office and Magsasaka Party List na basta ho magsasaka, tatanggapin na po ng Public Attorney's Office. Kasi ho, sa dami ng mga kasong ganyan sa buong Pilipinas, yung pong karamihan po ng mga magsasaka, walang abogado, kaya minsan hindi nila na ipaglaban yung kanilang lupa kahit na meron silang karapatan doon o kahit meron silang pwedeng prior rights na pwede sana nilang maipaglaban, ay hindi nagagawa dahil sa kakulangan ng tulong legal. Kaya tayo din po ang National Legal Council ng FFF, pero sa dami po, hindi rin natin talaga ma-handle. Kaya po tayo ay may Memorandum of Agreement with PAO. So yung pong naging problema nila, kasama po natin ang Public Attorney's Office na maghahain sa korte para po mabawi yung kanilang lupa o kaya mapagbigyan yung kanilang karapatan.
Attorney, if I may, no?
Sige po.
Yes, they try their best kasi naniniwala po kami sa kasabihan that in this country, no one is above the law. All must bow down to the majesty of the law because we follow the rule of law and not of men. But we have realized recently in that place, we follow the role of money, of the guns, of power. They tried, they went to Cotabato, to the farm. Sinabihan sila, teka muna, may certification ba kayo na inyo ang lupa? Sir, ang daming dokumento namin, no? In the 50s pa nandiyan kami. Kumuha kayo ng certification from the barangay. Alam mo, nakakatawa eh. Sir, what certification? Inagaw ang lupa sila ng barangay. Bigyan sila certification. Tapos sasabihin pa ng isang lawyer, you go to the farm, to dyan sa PAO, sa korte doon. They will not accept that. Kaya, Tony, that is the most painful. Yung kahit sa SPDA, we went there twice. We talked to Secretary Leo Magno, to Administrator of Mindanao, Chris Digala. We were promised, i-stop na, wala pong nangyari. So they tried everything. And so therefore, ang last attempt po nila ay dito na po sa inyo, mga kasama. Because they believe that we still follow the rule of law. And let us now tell the truth, veritas liberabit plus po. Kaya nga, ang pag-asa lang po namin ngayon ay sa inyo na po, sa media.
Laruin ko lang, sir, kasi mukhang marami na po kayong nakausap na mga taong gobyerno, pero nakausap nyo na po ba yung mismong administrator ng SPDA?
Yes, si Administrator Chris Digala, Administrator of Mindanao. Nakipag-set din kami ng meeting with Administrator Salopodin. Hindi siya nag-appear. Nandun kami, nagbiyahe, ilan sila, 50 of them went to Davao twice already. And they were promised, Sir, mawa po kami, gutom na po kami. Pagbukas, nag-tractor sila, saan kami kukuha ng pagkain? Mabuti, mayroong isang NGO, sabi ng Orlan, bigyan mo na mapakain, kawawa naman, nag-iyak ka ng mga bata. And so along that line, ang sabi ko po sa kanila, mabuti pang mamatay kaming lumalaban kaysa mamatay kami sa gutom. Orlan, bakit? Tapos they say, baka ma-impede yan. Hindi, sir. The Ilocanos are peace-loving. Kung kayo po siniraan ng 400 hectares, gutom na kayo. Kung talaga sila ay connected sa left, marami na sanang gera dyan. Wala. Lumuluwa na ito. Ito, pati bahay niya. Transfer, kinwan. That is a violation, Mr. CHR, of human rights. Pati tubig mo, you can live for 40 days without food, but for 8 days you cannot live without water. Kaya nga, ang CHR, pumunta kami ron, walang answer. Mabuti kahapon. Anong isang araw, pumunta sila. At para pumapanig pa sa kabila, yun ang masakit.
We have some questions from the media, but before I open the floor, siguro I'd like to solicit yung parang closing remarks ng ating president of the Ilocano Farmers Cooperative. Sir Efren, kung kayo po ay gusto manawagan, ano po ba talaga ang gusto ninyong mangyari dito sa Barangay Sumugot?
Unang-una po sa lahat, nagpapasalamat kami na sa pamamagitan ninyo ang aming mga hinaing maparating sa mga kinaukulan. So ang gusto lang po sana namin is mapansin ng ating Pangulo ang aming problema ito. Kasi since November 2023 hanggang ngayon, sir, wala po kaming pahinga nung February 26, galing kami ng Lanao del Sur, pumunta kami dito. Kami lang na mga farmer, wala pa sila Sir Rabanera, wala pang tumutulong sa amin. Hindi namin alam kung anong gagawin namin dito sa Manila. For this kami sa Senate nagpila. Ang sabi ng mga Chief of Staff ng mga senador is, sige, pag-aralan namin. Si Senador Subiri, pinuntahan mismo doon sa Bukidnon. Ang sabi niya, barn pa naman itong lugar ninyo. Sige lang, pag-aaralan namin. So in fairness po kay Senador Chis Escudero, sana po makatulong rin siya kasi siya yung simula ng sulat na galing sa kanyang opisina papunta kay Secretary Magno. Doon nagsimula ang aming laban na parang continuation na po kasama nila Sir Orlan. Kung wala po sila, baka nung Marso pa lang po tumigil na kami. So ngayon malaki na po ang pasalamat namin kasi nandyan na po sila Sec Leone, sila Sir Kabat ba? Si Argel Kabat-Batin. Kayo po, kasi po naranasan po namin dun sa Mindanao. Nagpa-preskon po kami, 10 media outlet sa radio. Isa lang po ang nagpalabas ng aming preskon, vlogger pa. Din nagpa-pre-rally kami dun sa kapitbahay na barangay ng aming barangay. Sa siyam na media, isa lang din po ang nagpalabas. Samantalang kung doon sa kabila, ang kanilang ano po ba yung sekretary? Yung kanilang halos araw-araw po lumalabas sa YouTube, sa Facebook, ganun. Pero yung sa amin natatabunan. So, ang gusto po namin, sana yung mga NGOs natin na may puso para tumulong sa mga mahirap na katulad namin, tulungan ninyo kami. Kasi nahihirapan na po kami since December, hindi na po nila kami pinagtanim. Nagpapaaral pa po kami ng mga anak namin. Doon kami nabubuhay, mag-araraw lang ang alam namin. Ang masakit pa po, yung interview ni Lieutenant Colonel Di Maala na sabi niya doon, kami at saka yung isang leader namin is na-influensyahan ng makakaliwang grupo. So sabi ko, ganito po ba pala ngayon ang ating bansa, ang ating bagong Pilipinas, na kung ipaglaban mo ang iyong karapatan is makakaliwa ka na. So yun po sana din po ang tutukan ng sa army. Totoo po yung sabi ni Yosek, na pati po yung bahay ko linagyan ng kable, binitbit ng bakho, inilipat doon sa area na ng SPDA. So hanggang ngayon po nandun, tinirhan ng isang kapgo. So in fairness po sa mga kapgo at sa mga army po, lumalapit din po sila sa amin. Sabi nila, pasensya na kayo, wala kaming magagawa. Follow order lang po kami. So yun lang po, sana po matulungan ninyo kami na maiparating sa kinaukulan ang aming problema.
Maraming salamat, Sir Efren. At this time, we invite the media for some questions to our resource speakers. Again, introduce yourself and the outfit that you're representing and direct to whoever resource person you want them to answer.
Hello. Good morning, gentlemen. I'm Nino Aklan from Hataw. Sir, tanong ko lang, para mabilis yung pag-stop ng SPDA dun sa improvement na ginagawa ng dalawang kumpanya, are you not willing to help them to question or ask the Supreme Court to issue a TRO on that regards?
Siguro, meron, sa totoo lang po, siguro i-disclose ko na ito. We are really planning on filing a petition before the Supreme Court. Hindi lang po sa issue niya, kundi sa issue na similar sa mga nangyari sa kanila. Halimbawa sa Bataan, na kung saan yung mga matatandang magsasaka, kinasuhan ng syndicated stapa at nakulong pa dahil may nakalaban sila na malaking korporasyon din. Sa Sariaya, Quezon, napakarami ho na similar cases. So, under the rules of court, dapat ang filing po niyan is sa regional trial court. Kaya lang, this is of transcendental importance. Mga Pilipinong magsasaka na po ito eh. Kaya pwede na po tayong dumiretso sa Supreme Court. So I would disclose for the first time in public na meron po talaga kaming plano na mag-file ng petition sa Supreme Court para mapigilan po yung mga nangyayari sa mga magsasaka natin.
And aside from that, kay Sir Montemayor, since may SEC registration sila at they are already have violations, as you mentioned, are you going to question and ask the SEC to revoke their license of the corporations?
Opo, we have not yet discussed that, but I'm glad binanggit po ninyo yan. I'm sure we will look further into that action if it is proper to do so. But certainly, I think they would, right now, they're in violation of Philippine laws eh. Kasi hindi nila nire-respeto yung yung in this case, the prior or vested rights. And then they are not also following may mga international mga international conventions and instruments that they are probably violating, whether with the International Labor Organization, some UN international instruments, malamang may ganyan. So we'll certainly look into the possibility of questioning their registration with SEC.
If I may also like to add this truth, no? Ang nangyari kasi ngayon, look at Mindanao, 200,000 hectares have been transformed into massive plantations by these corporations. Many of these corporations, I'd like to tell this, are already prohibited to enter Costa Rica and Puerto Rico. I talked to them, to the cooperative there when I was still chairman of CDA. Sabi nila, they cannot enter Puerto Rico, Costa Rica. They are causing cancer. Ang ating pong water table sa Mindanao, it's already very much polluted. Ang dami pong namamatay na sa cancer. At mga batang pinapanganak, wala ng ilong, wala ng puwit, wala ng kamay. Dahil kung ikaw buntis ka, o hindi ka makabili ng mineral water, uminom ka sa watershed, madi-deform ang baby. Yan po ang katotohanan. And so along that line, sabi nila, Orlan, hindi na makapasok yan dito. Kaya saan pumapasok? Doon sa Mindanao. Bakit, sir? Kasi kami matatapang. Kayo ay, ang bayan ninyo ay bayan ng mga duwag. Because of the 8 chemicals that they are using, these corporations, 7 are banned already in other countries. Tingnan ninyo yung mga ginagamit nila. I'd like this to be exposed to the media. They are now controlling our blessed land at the expense of the poor farmers. Yun po ang katotohanan. Kaya we now bring this not only to the Supreme Court, to a bigger court, to the Filipino people, so that they should know the root cause of the problem, and that is corporate globalization. Thank you.
Lastly, sir, since that corporation is owned by foreigner, so yung nagpapatakbo rin nun mga foreigner, so po pwedeng mag-intervene yung Bureau of Immigrations para doon sa kanila for their visas, para ma-revoke na yung visa nila to work here in the Philippines, para ma-stop na yung
Gusto ko ba ako sumagot?
Well, siguro we will have to consult with Attorney Mison since he came from that office. Pero I'd like to raise, I'm sure we don't have enough time, meron pong national security issue, questions and implications. Because this situation that's happening now in Amay Manabilang, where apparently the Army is involved, PNP is involved, may national security implications kasi rather than convincing our people to stay within the bounds of our constitution and support the government, baka we're driving them away. Sa mga puwersa po na iba po yung kanilang paningin po sa ating lehitimong pamalaan. And I mentioned this because apparently it's not just in Amay Manabilang this is happening. May mga kwento po, Attorney Mison, the area is close to the Camp Kibaritan military reservation covering many towns in Lanao del Sur, na where Kenemer reportedly is already coming in again to go into cacao plantation. I do not know if they're doing the same type of actions that is happening now in Amay Manabilang, but certainly it's a cause for worry if they're doing that. And Kenemer is all over Mindanao. In some places maganda naman po yung yung parang pakikipag-ugnayan nila. FFF has one chapter in Davao City. We are working with Kenemer. So maganda po. But in other areas like this one, it's not. In fact, I was shocked. Why would Kenemer go into such a very disruptive action? And as well as the American company ASPAC, because they risk being kumbaga, pag na-raise to sa international forum, masisira po yung pangalan nila. Even their markets abroad will be affected
Thank you, sir.
if they're, proven to be violative of, human rights.
Sir, I think we have more questions coming. If possible, limit lang sa isa. Dahil we have other
Opo,
questions.
Good morning po.
Sige po.
Opo. Hari Ilagan po ng UNTV para po kay Attorney Kabatbat. Dahil po marami na pong nararanasan po ang ating mga kababayang magsasaka sa mga ganitong issue na agawan po sa mga sakahan po ng lupa. Ano pa po yung mga ginagawa po natin na para maprotektahan po yung karapatan po at seguridad po ng mga ating mga magsasaka? Tsaka meron na po ba tayong mga batas na ma-uplift po yung dignidad po ng ating mga magsasaka? Thank you po.
Yes, siguro i-declare ko na ako sa Magsasaka Party List, kami po ay against sa food security. Ayaw po namin ng food security. Kasi po ang food security, kung ano yung nakahain sa hapagkainan mo, wag mo nang tanungin kung saan galing. Wag mo nang tanungin kung patas ba ang presyo niyan. Wag mo nang tanungin kung sino ba yung kumita diyan sa pagkain na yan. At lalong wag mo nang tanungin kung may hustisya ba sa lupa na pinanggalingan ng kinakain mo. That's food security. And we are against that. Because we are for food sovereignty. Kasarinlan sa pagkain. Dapat po may pagtanggol natin yung sovereignty natin, hindi lang po sa territorial sovereignty, lalo na po yung food sovereignty. At ang nakakalungkot po, kung titignan ninyo ngayon yung media, parang lagi tayong nakafocus sa West Philippine Sea, sa ating mga fisher folks, na I admire them, na ikipaglaban sa territorial sovereignty. Pero ang pinaglalaban naman po natin, na nangangailangan kami ng tulong din sa media, makita nyo rin kung paano ipaglaban ng mga magsasaka yung kanilang mga lupa na nagpapakain sa atin. At siguro gusto ko rin pong sabihin kay Sir Efren na at sa mga lahat ng mga magsasaka na nakikinig ngayon, wag lang ho tayo sa presidente humingi ng tulong. Doon din po sa Supreme Court, sa mga justices, at sa kapwa natin magsasaka, dahil gusto ko po na maituring ito ayon sa Biblia, na ang magsasaka po para pong isang pirasong walis. Madali lang po yan putulin pag mag-isa ka. Pero pag nagsama-sama po kayo, nagkumpul-kumpul, nagbigkis-bigkis, doon po kayo magiging makapangyarihan at magagawa niyo po yung tama na maipaglaban yung karapatan ninyo. So ako po yan po yung ginagawa namin ngayon sa FFF at sa Magsasaka Party List, na yung mga magsasaka magtipon-tipon para po ipaglaban yung, hindi lang po yung problema ninyo, kundi pati problema ng lahat na magsasaka. So basta po may magsasaka may problema, tulungan po natin para po mabago natin at maipagtanggol yung ating food sovereignty.
Attorney, pwede ba dagdagan ko?
Last question na lang po. Opo. Para po kay Sir Montemayor, nabanggit niyo po kanina na nakipag-ugnayan na po kayo sa DA at saka sa DAR. Ano po pong update po doon?
Yun nga po, kay Secretary Estrella, I was pleased by the immediate reaction of the Secretary. Sabi, "Uy, mga Ilocano farmers to, hindi pwede ito," sabi niya kasi si presidente natin, di ba? Ilocano din. So, that was his immediate gut reaction. So, ang ginawa din po niya, immediately pinatawag niya si legal undersecretary niya, si Nap Galit. Tingin niya agad yung legal basis to protect the rights of the settlers in Barangay Sumogot. So, I'm expecting a response probably anytime next week. And then, we will have a hopefully follow-up meeting, this time with them, kay Secretary Estrella soon. Kay Secretary Laurel, even before we met last Thursday, I already vibered him please bring this to the attention of the President. At ang sagot naman niya sa akin sa Viber, this was about probably 2 weeks ago. Sabi niya, okay. So, kaya nung dinala ko po yung mga papeles sa kanya nung last Thursday, tinawagan niya agad si Secretary Magno. Kasi under the office of the President po yung Minda. So, yun, nag-usap kami and the response nga was pinatigil na, but only to find out hindi pa pala total na pinatigil. So, we'll have to probably get in touch again with Secretary Laurel. I know he's very busy right now, pero he took time out nung last Thursday to listen to the problem.
So, ibig sabihin po, nakarating na po ito sa Office of the President kasi naipatigil na po siya.
Sabi niya he will bring it kasi I on behalf of the group I wrote the President himself. Dinaan ko lang po yung letter kay Secretary Estrella tsaka kay Secretary Laurel. Sabi ko, please bring this immediately to the attention of the President. And they said they will.
Thank you po.
I just would like to say this, no? Kasi 3 bishop sa Mindanao wrote no less than President BBM na to stop the forcible coercive eviction. Kaya I hope na yung letter ng 3 bishops, siguro, Efren, you have to give them copy, yung mga letters nila, pati yung mga document proving that they really have prior rights. Pero yung tanong kanina on food security, I'd like to add on that. This is a great paradox. You know what? Di ba Mindanao is called the food basket of the country? And yet, based on data, ang maraming nagugutom ay doon sa Mindanao. In fact, 85% of our children are malnourished. You know what? We are the biggest rice importer in the world. Pero look at our land. We are producing mga high value fruits, not for us, but to satisfy the consumer needs of the people in other countries. 90% of our milk are being imported. The biggest size importers, yun ang katawa-tawa. An agricultural country cannot even provide basic staples because our land are being used to satisfy the consumer needs of the people in advanced countries. Yun po ang paradox.
Sige, one last question for this morning. Go ahead,
Yung
sir.
tuloy mo sa mabuhay niyo sa online sa media houses. Para kay Yusek Rabanera, sir, may balak pa ba kayong mag-file ng asunto sa Commission on Human Rights doon sa violation ng human rights ng mga 3,000 Ilocano settlers sa Barangay Sumugot? Saka yung mga kumpanyang involved, aasuntuin nyo rin po ba sila dahil doon sa environmental damage na ginagawa nila ngayon?
You know what, no? Ang itong masakit sabayin natin. Kung ikaw nakawan ka lang ng 1,000, hindi ka na makatulog. Alam po ninyo, I like to tell you the truth, no? Ito pong mga Ilocano farmers, ang sisipag, hardworking, nature's loving, they treat nature as their home, providing for their basic needs. Pero look what's happening, in the past so many years. Sila ang nagsusupply ng cabbage, potato, mga gulay sa Davao, Cagayan de Oro, Bukidnon, Lanao. Ganun po sila kasipag. Ngayon, araw-araw tinatraktor, wala na silang harvest kahit na pagkain nila. Kaya ang problema ngayon, di ba nagtaas ang presyo ng mga bilihin? Kasi following the law of supply and demand, pag wala ng harvest sila, mahal na. Kaya tingnan mo, hindi lang sila napektuhan. Pati ang taga Davao, taga Cagayan de Oro, Bukidnon, wala ng cabbages, potato, carrots, onions, pati ang kanilang mga sugarcane, inubos na. Look, ilan na kaya? Siguro Efren can tell you that by the hundreds of millions nawala sa mga pobre.
Orlan, can I just add?
Yes, please.
With respect to the CHR, ni-report na po namin yan nila Congressman Kabatbat tsaka ni Roy Cabonegro ng Makakalikasan Nature Party. We went to their offices last week, if I remember correctly. We talked to the director for si Regino, Protection Division, together with Ronnie Lucero of the investigation group. So they immediately communicated with the regional office in Cagayan de Oro of CHR. The group from the region is arrived last Wednesday in Sumugot. So they are now gathering data. So ang first phase talaga nila is investigation. And then hopefully at some point soon, meron po silang findings and recommendations. So yun po status as of now with CHR.
Okay. I think just to wrap up today's discussion, lumalabas kasi na when it comes to the legal process, we will let the lawyers handle it. Let the courts handle it. Kung ano man ang magiging remedyo dito sa nangyayari sa Barangay Sumugot. At the same time, just like sinabi ni Chairman Leonie, lumalabas, we are asking for the other agencies of government to act, to help. Na kahit sabihin na nga natin na okay, may basihan nga ginagawa ang SPDA, but the process, sabi nga ni Sir Orlan, medyo hindi maganda dahil it's a constitutional right that no person shall be deprived of property without due process. Kahit sabihin natin may basihan ng SPDA, hindi dapat ganon karahas ang pagkuha ng property. That's why ang role naman na sinasabi nga ni Sir Efren na I think this program is eagerly helping is for media to help elevate this concern into a national issue. Gaya nga sabi ni Kong Argel, baka naman hindi lang nangyayari ito sa Lanao, pati sa Quezon, pati sa Bataan. In other parts of our country, it's happening. Hindi lang nalalaman ng ating pamahalaan at the same time ng ating sambayanan. So we are asking and appealing to our friends in media to let the public be more aware of what's happening in our country. And with that, it's a wrap for today's program here at the agenda at Club Filipino. And one final request, I think let's show a 2-minute video just for us to understand what's, contextualize and have that image of what's happening in this area in Lanao del Sur.
Pati maayos akong tingay pa niya. Ha? Walang kayong tinira. Walang kasama ko lang sana. Saan pa kami kukuha lang pang padukto sa mama ko? Naghirap naman kami. Kahit ito na lang sanang tinira daw. Wala kayong kawa. Wala kami ginawa. Nagpumikap lang kami.
Again, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalo at magandang umaga po.